The Immerse program provides a week-long learning opportunity for local schools. Accepted teachers are trained and supported through a rigorous orientation program, learning to leverage museum exhibits and artifacts into their teaching. There are endless opportunities for teachers to target customized learning objectives. Each teacher can select from a wide range of education programs, planetarium presentations, and other resources, all aligned with curriculum across subject areas. This year, we were able to work with over 1,200 students from 52 classes. We tailored our offerings to best fit each class's needs by modifying our in-person programs and developing new distance learning resources and virtual sessions. This allowed us to have meaningful connections with each student, whether they were learning at home, in the school building, or taking a safe visit here. Let's hear from some of our teachers in our Immerse cohort about their experiences.
The other second grade teacher, one of our partner teachers, was able to go in 2020 right before COVID hit, and she was only able to take her classroom, but based on the experience that she had and the kids brought back, we were ready to apply and excited to be able to join her in 2021.
Our program is always looking for good hands-on activities for kids to be able to do to engage them in the curriculum, and Immerse seems like a really good way for kids to go to a place in the community and still have learning tied to our fourth grade standards.
I've been able to participate with Immerse this year virtually and the year before in person, and really believe Immerse is fantastic. There's so many positives to learning at the museum that inspire and motivate my students. It's been unparalleled to any other experiences or opportunities we've had for our school, and I know our students are loving it in both years, both in person and with the virtual ties that they did. So there's so many curriculum standards and grade level concepts that are able to tie into authentic, creative, historical, hands-on, real-world learning opportunities for students. And I know that they love it there. So there's nothing else quite like it, and we've really enjoyed Immerse.
The corn and darts game was something that my kids obsessed about and talked about, and to be able to have something that was interactive that they could play with or experience was super fun. And then there's another artifacts exhibit where we're able to, with gloves, touch things and feel things and be like, wow, they use this in the Grand River, and you can see the Grand River.
To the archives building. I feel like it's just such a privilege for us to be able to go to a behind the scenes look at the museum and to be able to see all these artifacts that the museum has collected that the public doesn't normally get to see. And I feel like for the students too, and even a few of the chaperones that we get to bring along, they get this bigger picture of all the things that are available at the museum, but also being able to see the collections that the museum has put together all in one place, I think is really powerful. And one of the favorites, well, a couple of the favorite collections, the students always really love the clothing collection because you can see all these clothings from different time periods. And our teacher that takes us around always starts off by showing them a bathing suit from a long time ago, and it looks just like a dress. And so the kids are, guessing, oh, it looks like maybe a waitress uniform or something that a kid might wear to school. And then when she or he finally tells us that it's a bathing suit, the kids are all flabbergasted that that's what bathing suits used to look like because it's so different from now.
How students can become so engaged and motivated through the program. I think it's really important to create meaningful learning experiences, and getting students interested is always a way of figuring out as a teacher how to engage them. And with Immerse in the museum, it does not take a lot of effort to figure out how to engage them. They are super curious, they're invited to learn in countless opportunities, and they're super engaged throughout the learning process. And that just helps them persevere as learners with the Immerse program and museum.
I think my students, for our Immerse experience in second grade, we study Michigan history, and a lot of the tours that we were able to plan went right along with what we were already studying. And so we did a lot of the prep work in class, making sure these topics were covered. And then when we got there, it was like, oh my goodness, this is real. This isn't just something that I can see on my computer or a video of it. or this isn't something we're just reading in our history books. It was something they could see, feel, touch, and experience, which I really love.
The thing that really stuck out to me about Virtual Immerse is how well I feel like the museum incorporated the things that we did when we were in person with a virtual format. So for instance, we did a visit with a fur trader, which we've done before in person every year. It's one of my favorite lessons that we do. It's one of the students' favorite lessons. And having the fur trade as part of our Michigan curriculum, it really brings it to life, because when we go to the museum, there's Jacques the fur trader, who the kids get to meet, and he shows his canoe and he shows the different furs he has, and he really talks about the different materials he uses. So I was interested to see how it would work when we made it virtual, and it was really cool because there was like the host of our Zoom, and the host would talk about some things, but then would cut to a video of Jacques doing the exact same things that he would have done when we were in the museum. And so I thought it was really cool that the way that you were able to do it, of having somebody lead the Zoom and then also having still Jacques the fur trader teach us everything that we would have done when we were in person.
Educators should definitely try the Immerse program, because it's such a cool way in and of itself to learn about their city's history. And I have no doubt that my students will remember this trip probably for the rest of their lives and will feel more connected to their city. And it also, I think Immerse does a great job of promoting exploration and investigation. And I think these skills are so important to creating lifelong learners.
So at the end of our time at Immerse, the museum had us fill out a survey, and the students all filled out a survey about their week and things that they really enjoyed, things like that. And one thing that was shared back with me was from one of our little girls who her family had immigrated into Kentwood. And the exhibit that really stuck out to her was the newcomers exhibit. And the newcomers exhibit, I feel like kids normally would just walk through, kind of see things from different countries and not really necessarily understand the power behind the newcomer exhibit. But we take a little bit more time in there. And so she was able to see different stories of people who have immigrated to Grand Rapids. And there were different artifacts of when these people had come over, the different luggage that they would have brought, or different things that they brought from their home country that were really meaningful to them. And in her response, she really pretty much thanked the museum for having that there, because it was such a powerful thing for her to be able to see these stories from different countries and then to relate it to herself and her own story as an immigrant. And that was just such a powerful thing for a fourth grader to take away from a museum that I don't think necessarily would have happened if we hadn't been able to take that time there.
My answer would be, why would you not? There's really no downside to Immerse as a teacher. It does take planning, it does take preparation, but every part of teaching takes that. I love that the students can become a big part of making decisions as they pursue different connections, as they develop and have opinions about what they're learning. They become so curious. It lends to students having different choices and a voice within their learning. So, I mean, for me, it's really important to teach students. It's not just about answering questions all the time or getting the right answer. It really becomes an investigative learning process for them. And so students generating the questions can be some of the most powerful or thought-provoking questions to instill curiosity within the whole class and each other. And so I love that. Immerse lends to giving students a very powerful voice throughout their discoveries and their learning experiences. And it gives students a time for unstructured exploration and just that desire to learn and to be motivated throughout that process. So why would you not want to choose Immerse? It's been fantastic.
It is a joy to work alongside teachers as they find creative ways to integrate museum resources into their lessons. It's even more meaningful to witness students enjoy memorable learning. They're able to be curious and have an exclusive museum trip that connects them to the history, science, and culture of their community and brings their learning to life.